These grew last summer. Kale, mint, and sage. See, I don't like how noisy this thing is. And I've cooked these guys up for the chickens. Pretty soft. Just make it easier for them to take bites out of it. It's hot. Hey girls, do you want a treat? Here's some more. Here's some more. Uh-oh, crap. Something finally popped up over here. Tea party for myself. What better thing to wear to your sardine taste testing tea party? The Alice in Wonderland tights. And this is the sardines in Louisiana hot sauce.
I haven't tried these. I haven't tried sardines since I was a kid.
Armed Rogue released a video, I think it was this morning, and she taste tests sardines because she saw somebody eat them. And it's funny because I bought these several weeks ago after watching one of her videos about different choices about what to put in your bug out bag. She didn't mention sardines, but I picked up a can when I was out shopping for the stuff that she said would be good. Like, I think it was like rice pasta sides or something like that. And I'm going to go meet her in May. We're going to camp together. She made her video and I thought, well, she's given me the courage to try it too. Oh, they look horrendous. Okay. They have the heads have been removed. It's a full fish. There's tiny bones in there, and sometimes they're crunchier than others, as I recall. And all that Louisiana hot sauce. Okay, we're gonna eat this first victim. Here we go.
These are great survival food because you won't eat them unless you're dying.
I am a glutton for punishment, apparently. Do you want something? But it's got spicy sauce on it. Maybe I can get the sauce off for you. I'll try wiping off the sauce. You try Teeks? Hey, Mikey. She likes it. Now Henry's rubbing his face against the ground. I think he thinks his mouth itches. Okay, maybe not a good thing for a dog. They do taste fishy. I thought hot sauce would be the safest bet, but I heard somebody said in her comments that the mustard's good. We used to just eat them in oil. Now Henry's rolling around in the grass. Okay, so the hot tea makes the spicy a little spicier. I could eat me some spicy food, not the ridiculous stuff that makes it feel like your gums are bleeding. This is hot as like a medium salsa. It's weird like eating a whole animal. Its head and its tail has been taken off. It doesn't appear that they gut them or anything. They just take the top and bottom off and you eat the whole animal. I'm gonna give the rest of the chickens. Apparently chickens don't mind spicy food. I'm gonna smooth those over here. Armed Rogue, you are a better woman than I am. Oh, my eyes have been tearing all morning. I'm not crying. It's not that spicy. See if I can get the taste of it out of my mouth with the orange. Those are not my cup of tea. Those will not be in the stockpile. I mean, I can understand it as an emergency food because your family is definitely not going to be dipping into those just for giggles. Perfect! One piece. There are things you'll eat in a life and death situation, but this is not a life and death situation. I don't like opening up a can and seeing the whole body of an animal. I threw them weeds from the garden, winter squash, and now sardines. I'm not going to give the babies the sardines, just in case. The chickens will eat what they want. and leave what they don't want. They don't like cilantro. I also bought some powdered milk and Nestle's, but it's like that they sell in Mexico. It's supposed to be a better, like a whole milk type of powdered milk. I haven't had the nerve to try that yet either. I was testing to see if the Tin Man teapot would fit in the kiln with the lid turned upside down in his top. When I took his hat back out because it didn't fit, I snapped the top of the Tin Man's hat. So I had to repair that this morning. I'm not sure if it's going to work or if I'm going to need to rebuild the whole thing. Slowly wet it, and then I let it sit overnight. And this morning I wet it some more and let it sit a while longer. And then I attached some more parts to it. I added some prongs inside the pot on the sides here so that when you put it on his head, it can't slide. And I want it to withstand a light earthquake. I thought those were good additions. The rest of the teapot fit in the hedgehog went in for his bisque firing, and so did the 2 cups for Kim. Next week's going to be about glazing and getting those fired again. I'll wait on the glazing on the Tin Man until his hat's ready. I didn't freak out. If anything happens to it, I'll do it again. Sometimes things are breaking the kiln, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, that's ceramic. Hope and wish and do my best and see what happens. Oh God. Right there. Wow, that was quick, all gone. Now I'm gonna taste partially dehydrated kale chips. Well, they're better when they're fully dehydrated. I've got Parmesan, salt, pepper, garlic powder. Yeah, they're easier to eat when they're fully dehydrated because they crumble up. I hope I get a lot of kale out of the garden this year. It was because I forgot Starry Hilder's advice about pulling the stems off the kale. Duh! Of course it wouldn't have been so hard to chew. The stems are kind of tough, but it tasted good. And I grew it myself. There's a rainbow around the sun. Can you see it? A big circle. There's a little black spot on the sun today. Wait, oh, that's my hand. It's the same old thing as yesterday. This rug is cozy. I hope I'm not bleaching the dye out of it. I mean, I doubt the sheep all had matching color fur. It is a beautiful day in Texas. Just beautiful. There's hardly places in Texas, I think. From my experience of Texas, there's hardly any places where you can just see just woods like this. And I get to live here. I really do feel so fortunate that we get to live here. Sure, we worked hard, but so did everybody else. But we got this. And we're making it even more woodsy. Pretty much emptied the rainwater tank. We're supposed to get water this week, so what I try to do is use up every drop I can before the rain comes so I can get a full tank again. And the garden gets as much as possible, and I get to use as much free water as possible. Our water bill is about $150 a month. I don't know. It's really expensive here. Also, they don't give permits for people to dig wells unless you have more land than we do. The wells are running dry is the problem. And by wells, I mean the aquifers. There's not enough water in the aquifers, and I think rainwater storage is super important for everyone. I wish everyone would get rain catchers and conserve as much water as possible. I think wars will be fought over water someday. I am not pleased that Donald Trump has sent missiles into Syria. It's my opinion that we need to mind our own business. The Syrians don't want us there. I mean, we have to just let go. I realize they're doing terrible things to people. And, you know, I might be one of those people who, maybe if it was the Second World War and they were rounding up the Jews, maybe I would have been one of those people who would have said, we need to stay out of the Second World War. And then I would be a bad person now. You know, now people would say, Julie, that's a hideous thing to say. We couldn't have let Hitler stay. Well, yeah, we did wait until the end of the war. And then we did drop those bombs on Japan, which sometimes I say. I remember my mom saying, I said something like, isn't it terrible? I can't believe we did that. And my mom said, we had to do that, you know? So I don't know how history's going to look back on what happened yesterday. He's my president. He's not my first choice. Yank out some of the taller ones. I like it when they sprout close to the ground. Yeah, bok choy can't live so close together, but the rain came and it shoved all the seeds to one spot. Here next to the little kales, I put in some red Russian kale. Next to the cabbage, I put eggplant. Also, around some of the edges, I planted some Malabar spinach. I put a couple of bell pepper seeds in the corners. That's going to be a beautiful spot for my swimming pool. Wild sunflowers are growing out in the grass. I'm thinking this side of the yard could be completely shady.